This is another show going back to Disney Plus. Came out in June and ran through July. Miss Marvel. New character. We got the first ever. We get that a little bit. Yeah. We got that in the show,
Yeah,
which
that was amazing.
we got that. What do you think, Zach?
The show's never gonna be back now. Wow, A. I love hearing you say that. Okay.
A. This is Miss Marvel is my favorite new character that from the comics that I've read in the last 5, 6, 7 years. She's a female Peter Parker, and Spider-Man, my favorite superhero. She has all his issues plus the religion, and a religion that I don't know much about, and I love learning about new cultures. And a lot of people from that religion relate to her and say it's accurate. What the show did by bringing all that in and giving her Mani Vellani is the best casting that they've done in the MCU since Tony Stark and Chris Evans. And she is that character in real life. Like Tony, what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. acts like Iron Man in real life, just like Chris Evans acts like Steve Rogers in real life. And she is that character. The passion is there in the performance. I love the family. I love the storyline they did with her going back into time. I can gush over and over about this show. The only thing that held it back was the villains. The show was too short to flesh out both villains that they gave. They should have either made it about the people who were invading the mosque, or not mosque, but their temple, or about the multiverse thing that they were trying to do. But they couldn't do both really well.
And they didn't do either of them. And then I think that's the only complaint I have about the entire show.
Only complaint. But the first couple of episodes, which is her learning her powers, all the high school drama stuff, her performance. Like one of my favorite scenes is her like thinking she's falling in love with the guy, and she does like a little dance thing, and the camera work. It was some of the best directing and camera work we got in any movie or show. So yeah, I really, really love this show. I'm so excited to see her in the Marvels and whatever else she does. And she's a mutant, not a stupid human. What?
They changed it.
Let me stop. I'm joking. I like the Inhumans, and I'm kind of iffy on her being a mutant, but I understand why they did it. So yeah, I don't want to talk too long. You go ahead.
What you think, Brandon?
Oh, I absolutely loved this one. I'd probably keep it as at an A as well. From the opening sequence of this show, the animated sequence that Kamala Khan was doing, her energy, Iman Vellani's energy, really, really sold me on her immediately. She very much is Kamala Khan. She was really in a lot of ways the driving force of the show. Also, like Zach said, I like that it did not shy away from the cultural aspect of it. It leaned into that. I don't think the show would have worked nearly as well as it did had it not. I love how they, I even like the change up with her powers with the Bengals rather than her inheriting the Inhuman gene and basically being like a Reed Richards, Stretch Armstrong type. So I was fine with that as well. I think that the supporting characters like Bruno, her mother, her father was great, her brother was great, the best friend was great. I think all the characters were absolutely great in this. Just so much about it worked. Like you said, I think it could have been a little bit longer, and there could have been just to make way for more with the villains. I think that was its major downfall or a low point, and kind of prevents me from giving it an S. Other than that, I absolutely love this.
Yeah. Cool. Brian, what you think?
I mean, I'm not going to say anything that they didn't say, but I'm probably not going to give them the same grade. First thing I want to say is this show, the whole idea of the partition, I had no idea. Yeah. And and I am someone who likes to be, know history, know about certain things. I think about the stuff in India, but you really didn't understand how Pakistani people, how people are driven out of India had to go to Pakistan. Like I didn't know about this story, and the more I read about it, the more it intrigued me. So that's my first thing that I loved about this. I did love her as Kamala Khan because she was so good. Some parts of it felt a little CW to me, and most of that comes from not having a real villain, not having a strong enough. Because when you have a strong hero, I feel like you have to have a strong villain, even if you're just learning, and that really cuts into the show for me. I enjoyed it immensely. I really did. And I say I learned from it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed her. But overall, I feel like I give it a B, but for the same exact reasons you guys are saying. Just it means more to me for the entire entity itself. I think the character I'll give like a what's above an S, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the character is great. You know, the stuff I learned is great, but the show is not, because I didn't feel like I had any villain. And then the one villain that I thought was like the mother, she was only a villain for like a show and a half. You know, it was just not done the right way. I think they could have done more with it. And I don't know if it was rushed or they were just, you know, what should have been 10 episodes or 12 episodes or something, but it was missing it. And that's why I'm giving it a B.
What are you giving me? So we got 2 A's and a B. And Andy said, enjoyed it more than this, but B for Bengal. So, but I'm giving it an A. You know, it was honestly one of my favorite shows. Bengal Plus.
Bengal Plus.
It was definitely one of my favorite shows. Like, I just connected with the character right away. It was super cool. Like, I always like when they show you like, oh, here's a different culture and a religion and beliefs, but it's like it's not that different from
what you believe.
Kind of like what you like, even the way you know, she was raised as a lot of kids were raised, like, hey, you can't go to parties, like, a bad influence, this and that, you know. But then you throw in the Muslim part, plus like still being Jersey, because Jersey is still always good. Oh, Zach would know, he's over there. Like, Jersey people are always like Jersey people, no matter what you are, you know. And then you mix that with the Muslim, like Brown Jovi is one of my favorite stupid things in the MCU. So good, so good. I
the dancing stuff that they did at the wedding.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
I just think of a superhero movie, you have to have the villain.
Yeah, that's why I think it was better as a show than a movie. Because if it was a movie, then this would have been maybe a little bit farther down. But since you were able to focus more on Kamala, but the only reason why it's not an S tier is because of the villain. Like, there was not a solid villain that elevated her to the next level. You know, it was like what the hunter people, and then the other inhuman kind of people, and it was like, you know, they just both were kind of lame. You know, like, you were rooting and then it changed. But
huge to me, because I mean, S tier, Loki, that was amazing. You had definite villains there. WandaVision, you definitely had excellent villains there. But you know, but I'm looking at our ranking. I think Miss Marvel's better than What If. So, you know, if What If is an A, Miss Marvel, I have no problem being an A.
Yeah, for me, like, but if that's the only thing, that's fine for a show, because you can focus more on the character than anything else. But if it was as a movie and it didn't have a villain as a movie, I think you're missing part of it. You know what I mean? Because you can have a great villain like Wanda in Multiverse of Madness, and then it craps out in the end, you know, like how it did. Where this one was like, it never really had a villain. It had bad people that pushed her, but but
that's what made it feel CW-ish to me. Not like the writing wasn't, the storyline wasn't, but not having a villain kind of does speak into the storyline a little bit, doesn't it? Like, and I'm not arguing for it to not be an A. I am not arguing for not to be A. I'm because me putting it at a B, I still, as I said, it's better than What If. But I just feel like not having a villain in a superhero movie is more important than not in any other regular show.
Yeah.
Well, remember, it's not a movie; it's a show.
Any other show, like a regular show, like if I'm watching a regular show and I don't have a villain, I can deal with it. But in a superhero show, I feel like you have to have a villain.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the villains in Miss Marvel probably a little bit more better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I never got their full reasoning behind Falcon and Winter Soldier's villains. Them, I got at least it sucked and they were lame, but I understood why they were the bad guys. Falcon Winter Soldier was like, so you're pissed that the world sucks? Like, yeah, get over it. That's life, man. Like what are you talking about?